All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome. I'll hop over here to the side here so hopefully you can see me. Hey, I'm Heather McElroy with Momentor Parent University. And today I am sharing our second session of the series on parenting in the middle, which really is about those of us in the sandwich generation who are caring for parents, elderly parents, or maybe a sibling or an aunt or uncle or grandparent, and also our own kiddos, our own children, and what that looks like, feels like to be that peanut butter in the middle of the sandwich. And so, we're going to talk a little today about boundaries and setting boundaries without guilt and shifting that idea of fixing in our relationships with our pieces of bread on either side of us to really understanding how to relate to them in a way that also gives us some comfort and some ease. So I'm going to jump right in here. I'm going to stop sharing that and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all so we can get rolling. This will be about 30 minutes ish. And I will pop back in later too. And if anyone had any questions or anything, I'm happy to answer those. I did not create a worksheet for today. I may still do that and put the link in there later. And there's a couple of things that you might just want to jot down. So if you have a pen and paper handy, go ahead and grab that. And right now I'm going to open my, if I can find it. There we are. Share. We'll get rolling. All right. I probably should do the thinking. Had a little technical challenges today with our presentation, so hopefully everything goes well and you can just see it. So first off, again, parenting in the middle is our series title, and navigating the sandwich generation with clarity, connection, and care. That means a lot to me. It's really important to navigate all of that with clarity, connection, and care. And 1 second, I just want to see and make sure that this is, oh, is it not sharing? Talk on it. Hold on. I'm going to do there. Okay. I'm going to try again to share. Maybe it was sharing and I just unshared it. There we are. All right. Parenting in the middle. So, session number 2 again, boundaries without guilt, shifting from fixing to relating. Parenting in the middle, our series is January, February, and March 2026. And each time, based on my core ideas and my, I guess, my CEO of Me presentation, which is my signature presentation, I invite you at every opportunity, not just when you're with me, to be the CEO of yourself. So that's the centered, empowered, and optimized version of you. And it's brave of you to be here. It's brave to learn new things. It's brave to step outside our normal patterns and ask questions and explore new tools. So I commend you. I feel you're very brave, and I hope these help you in your parenting journey, especially as a sandwich generation parent. So, boundaries I'm setting for today, always the boundaries: safety, kindness, and non judgment for ourselves and for others. So, just a few fun photos. I always like to start with this. Again, my name is Heather McElroy. I'm the CEO of Momentor Parent University, and the tools and techniques that we offer help parents both at home, at their child's school, and in the workplace to really understand how we are showing up in our parenting role and to think about and be conscious of what we are modeling for our kiddos. So let me just, these are a few. I have two bird children and a furry child, and then one very tall teenager who is approaching graduation of high school. That's that's feeling a little. That's feeling a lot right now. So exciting. And also, my parents are aging, and I'm, just really in that space where I get to support them now after all the years that they've gotten to support me. So, and they have been amazing and supportive. And now it's time to show up for them, right? So, we're going to talk a little bit about setting boundaries and how to do that in a healthy way for me as a mom and for those around me. So, core intention today is to support parents in stepping out of overfunctioning while preserving connection with your children, with your parents, with whoever it is you are caring for. Maybe it's just a relative, maybe it's a neighbor that you are caring for. And it can be anyone, and caregivers come in all shapes and sizes, all distances, all functions. So, um, I also want to just be very clear, a core intention here is to support us as we nourish ourselves as parents. And I go back always to the airplane analogy, before you put on someone else's oxygen mask, put on yours first. So, three invitations today. I'll just tell you what I'm going to tell you, and then we'll go into it. Boundaries are an act of care, and that's our first invitation. And I'll explain more about each of these as we get in. The second one is you are not responsible for regulating everyone else. And that's hard to even say, but woo, it is. It's a good one. So, fixing is a nervous system response. And I know a lot of us are fixers. I will attest to. I've been very notorious for being a fixer. So it's a nervous system response. And I'll talk a little bit about some techniques that we can use to help break that pattern and help our nervous system have more ease. Jumping right in, invitation number one, boundaries. They're an act of care. They protect our energy and they protect our connection and our relationships. And they prevent resentment from becoming our loudest voice. And we all can understand, when the load feels really heavy and we are just feeling at the end of our energy allotment for the day, or really understanding, what, just understanding we don't want to feel that way, right? So, how we can use boundaries to prevent resentment from being that loudest voice is a idea we're gonna explore. The tool for that is called boundary mapping. And what this can distinguish between is what is mine to hold, what is mine to carry around with me on my backpack or on my, in my purse or in my wallet. What is mine to hold? And those things are very important to know, right? Mine to hold is my self care, my own self care, right? Staying connected with whomever I need to be connected with, whoever I want to be connected with, right? And then managing the load or seeking help for doing that. Those are things that I get to hold and I have control over holding, right? Then what's not mine to hold is the other side of the coin in boundary mapping, things beyond my control, others' big emotions or demands, my ability to be in two places at once. I don't know about you. I have not been cloned and I cannot be in two places at once. And I was reading a really neat post this week from um, a woman who was talking about trying to coordinate her three different children and all the things that were going on. And it was it was just a fun reminder of how we are not able to be in two places at once or multiple places at once. If you got multiple children and parents who are or loved ones who you're caring for, right? We we have a hard stop there. And then brain changes. Brain changes is really a unique one too. It can be our own brain changes as we're going through different stages of our lives. It can be our children having brain changes. Puberty is a great example of the brain change that we all think about in that space. And brain changes with the elders that are in our lives that we care for. Maybe they're forgetting things more. Maybe they have a diagnosis with dementia or Alzheimer's or some other something that is affecting their brain, and it's not ours to hold. It's not something that we have any control over, right? We do have control over taking care of ourselves so that we are paying attention and taking care of our brain. We don't, however, have control over others and the changes that are happening in their brain. Although sometimes we may wish we could stop our teenager from being in their hormonal pubescent state, right? All right. So, tool one that goes along with boundaries are an act of care. All right. Invitation number two, I am not responsible for regulating everyone else. And I invite you to say that out loud right now. In fact, that's a good mantra to say every morning. I am not responsible for regulating everyone else. And in this vein, discomfort is not danger. So when we step into self growth, talk today, that often looks like maybe short-term pain, maybe changing living arrangements, maybe doing some things to the home or things to your schedule that are short-term pain to really look at how things are going, right? And how we are regulating ourselves. Um, so taking that discomfort of the frustration and using it to expand how we're looking at something or embrace a realization or an epiphany that we have about, maybe this is a time for a next step. Maybe this is a time that we come together with our siblings and have a talk about things and really understand what everyone else is thinking and being, you're not responsible for regulating all of them, anyone else. And stepping into the discomfort of asking some questions and really getting into your own regulation and not allowing anyone else to pull you from your regulation, and also stepping into some discomfort that looks like progress or self growth. So, tool number two is from fixing to presence. I'll explain this just a little bit. So, advice giving is a big part of fixing. When someone comes to you and says, I just don't know what to do, I can't, handle this situation anymore, or I really need some help. So instead of giving advice, and one of my favorite kind of twists to this is asking what someone needs when they are coming to you. Instead of trying to jump in and fix things for them, ask what they need. Ask how you can best be there for them at that moment. And it's interesting. So I've used this a lot with clients. I've used this a lot with my own teenager, and even with my parents. So we can be on a. I'll give the example of my dad. I can be on a call with him, and we're talking about something, and I can tell he needs to just share some things. So I can ask, or just peacefully engage. And if I ask, I say, what can I do for you right now? Is it like, would you like me just to listen? Or would you like me to share what I'm seeing? Would you like me to give you feedback? And that really opens people up. And it's funny because a lot of times they'll say, no, I just want you to listen. And they really want feedback. And what I'm going to invite you to do, because next we're going to talk about what fixing is created from, and that's from our nervous system being dysregulated. So, fixing, we can swap out for naming feelings. So, ooh, I'm feeling really concerned about what you just told me, or ooh, I see you're feeling frustrated, or reflecting back to them. So, what I heard you say is you just want me to listen. And what I heard you say is you're really struggling with X. You're really trying to figure out how to make this happen, and just leaving it at that. No fix there. Or just staying curious. Wow. What you just shared with me is a lot. How are you doing in that space? What are you thinking about? And just being curious helps someone dig a little deeper and also stops me, from fixing a situation. It's not ours to fix. So, swap advice for naming feelings, reflecting back to them, or just staying curious about what's going on for them. Tool number two. And then we've got invitation number three. So, as I said a moment ago, fixing, it's a nervous system response. And overfunctioning, it really comes from anxiety, not intention to fix things for somebody. So, language swaps and resets are a great example here. Just in case this is new information to you, our nervous system is either in a safe place, the window of tolerance on this particular chart, which I really like by Lindsay Brayman, um, or we're in fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. So, an example here, maybe we're in fight, and understanding our nervous system was just kind of checking in with our nervous system was another um, tool or technique that we talked about in our first session in this series. So, if you haven't watched that one and want to know more about the nervous system, hop back and check that one out. So, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, or you're just in safe mode, window of tolerance. So, in a window of tolerance, you're relaxed, you're steady, you feel very grounded and comfortable. If you're in fight, maybe you feel very alert and breathless. Maybe your heart rate has gone up and you feel very tense and energetic. Or you've got freeze mode. Maybe something has just really gotten you to a point in your nervous system where you're sort of shutting down and you feel very heavy. You're not taking very deep breaths. Your heart rate feels slower. Maybe you just feel really numb and frozen in that space. So this chart is really good, and again, it's by Lindsay Brayman, Braman, and you can Google her or find her out in the world and find her great little tool here, her little chart. So, tool number three is language swaps and resets, and how those help with the nervous system response you're having. So, here are a couple of language swaps to specifically address fixing. So, language like, let me fix this, becomes, I am here with you. So, your child says, I need to study for the spelling test. And instead of assuming you know what that looks like for them, hey, I'm here with you. I'm going to support you. What do you need? And maybe that looks like your mom having some concerns that she took her medicine twice, right? That's a pretty serious, maybe that's not a good example because that's a more serious situation. Maybe she can't remember if she wrote a birthday card to your brother. And you can just be there with her and help her just be and not have to fix the situation or jump in with things. It'll all work out, right? You'll call your brother in a couple of days and say, hey, did you happen to get a birthday card from mom? I know she meant to send you one, right? Um, then the second language swap I'll give is an example is I should handle this, right? That's the first language swap, and or that's the second language swap. And then it can become who else can support this. I don't always have to be the one who handles the things. Hit my microphone. Who else can support this is a language swap for that. I also love these resets. These are neurodivergent insights graphic of some really good resets that we can use to reset our nervous system. And I use some of these, especially when things are just feeling heavy and not even only when I'm trying to fix something or thinking I want to fix something. These are great just for any time your nervous system gets off kilter. Some of these are deep breaths. So I love that one. I use that one a lot. 3 deep breaths. It's amazing what that can do. I also, box breathing is another really good example there. Um, Tapping, maybe just tapping on your arms or tapping on your temples. It just takes you to a different place in your nervous system. Using a weighted blanket, go spend time with your pet your cat, give them a treat, get your dog to do a few tricks, hum, chant, sing, chew on some ice. I don't know if that's great for your teeth, but um, consult my dentist if that's actually a good thing. But put on some essential oil, take a shower. Maybe it's a cold one because that helps you calm your system. I tend to like a warm one myself, but um, doing some progressive muscle relaxation, just laying down on your bed or on the floor and tensing your feet and then tensing your ankles and then tensing your calves and then your knees and then your upper legs and just go through that whole cycle, and it relaxes your nervous system. Go on a walk, especially outside by the trees, and playing some music is an amazing way to take your nervous system back to a place of safety. All right. We are overall shifting our response in this idea of setting some boundaries and creating some space for ourselves. So I invite you to decide on one thing that you will do now or today or by bedtime today. And maybe it looks like a language swap or trying one of the nervous system reset ideas. Maybe you do it with someone else and teach them that. Maybe it's the person you care for, the elderly person you care for. Maybe it's your child. And maybe you just start experimenting with which ones feel the most fun for you and for them. Swap advice for just being present in the moment and just hearing someone and offering to be present for them. Mapping my boundaries. That's a great way to really look at them and understand and think about what those are. So maybe what's mine today to hold doesn't need to be mine today to hold. And maybe what's not mine to hold right now never will be mine to hold. And you have the authority and you are the CEO of yourself to decide as a centered, empowered, and optimized grown up parent, caregiver, how you want to look at that, what you want to hold, what you are holding, and what you are not holding, what you do not have control over. Join a group, get some support. Oh my goodness, so amazing. Reach out to a friend. I love this one because I use it a lot. Let them know you're thinking of them, even if it's just a text message or make a little video and send it to them. Say, here's what I was working on today. I just clipped these flowers out of the garden. It's a little cold this time of year for flowers, but and I made this arrangement and it made me think of you and that time we went to a garden. And meditate, pray, focus on my breath. I said, 3 breaths. Maybe you do just 5 minutes of only thinking about your breath, and it really takes us to another place. And all of these are just ideas for calming our nervous system so that we can have boundaries that help us stay better connected to the humans around us. Again, the 3 invitations are boundaries. They're an act of care. You are not responsible for regulating everyone else, and fixing is a nervous system response. So the tools that we went through were boundary mapping, from fixing to presence, and language swaps and resets. And I would love your feedback if you really found any of these very helpful or intriguing. Give me some comments. Let me know what ones you're using, or how things worked out when you tried them. Maybe you did some of the nervous system reset tools with someone you care about, and you laughed and felt silly, or maybe you danced around the kitchen to some music. And um, yeah. All right. So the core intention, again, is to support parents in stepping out of overfunctioning while preserving connection with both our children and our aging parents, or those that we care for, and also to nourish ourselves as parents, as grown-ups, as humans, and the CEO of ourselves. I want to thank you so much for being here today, and for sharing in this information. And I have a few authors and resources here. You're welcome to pause this on the replay and check out any of these. A few local resources to North Carolina, where I am, is Caregiver Mental Wellness, and that's caregivermentalwellness.com, with Carolyn Dowdy. She's the president and founder, an amazing human being, and also someone who really gets that caregiving space and the being in the sandwich generation. Lisa's Care Connection, it's LEEZAS, careconnection.org. The Alzheimer's Association, alz.org/North Carolina. And then I've got some authors and some podcasters that I've found are interesting and have a lot to offer around the sandwich generation. Here's a few QR codes. You're welcome to snap. That's my Parent University catalog, some resources on my website, and then I have a tips newsletter. And this is me. So Heather McElroy, and I am the CEO of Momentor Parent University. And I really look forward to your feedback and hearing more about how you're showing up with your boundaries, and how these, yep. All right. Oh, there I am. So I look forward to hearing how these techniques and tools and invitations feel for you, and I would love to invite you to give feedback or reach out to me. I always enjoy hearing from people when they use some of these tools and techniques, and experience changes and the patterns that they're seeing in their family and their loved one. So thank you so much for joining me today. It's 1:00, so I said I was going to do this 12:30 to 1 today, and we'll meet virtually again next month, and for the third session in the series of Parenting in the Middle. And I will see you then. Thank you.